How can a AAA game studio go from worldwide domination to this? And how can it be that an indie game originally made by a team of 4 people, which almost didn't release, have player numbers bigger than Call of Duty, Battlefield and GTA 5 combined?
Now check this out. With EA Originals, we want all the profit.
Even the developers were surprised that their game has exploded the way it has. To find out what's going on, we're first going to need to find out why AAA studios have basically given up on the idea of making fun and engaging games.
Where's our money?
And that means taking a look at the culture and trends of gaming as a whole.
We are calling it earliest access, and we think it will be a revolutionary way to hastily rush unfinished game content out to consumers.
The landscape of gaming has completely changed over the last 20 years. Games are no longer one and done releases packed with content and replayability that sticks in your mind for years to come. If a game was fun back then, people would buy it in their millions. That philosophy hasn't changed. No one recognised this more than Rockstar. In 1987, working under the name of DMA Design, 4 Scottish developers put their heads together and they had their first big break with Lemmings. They knew the mission was simple: create an interesting game that keeps players wanting to play and people will buy it and tell all of their friends about it. There was no gigantic marketing budget that could make a turd look like a tasty sandwich. They were mostly relying on word of mouth. Over the years, Rockstar kept pushing the boundaries with what was possible with the hardware and what was proven to make money at the time.
We feel very excited and very confident that we're going to be able to absolutely push the limits of what can be created and the experiences that we can immerse our audience in.
That meant DLC and then eventually the online modes. Eventually adapting the online mode to use the live service model, as it's proven that it can be amazingly successful if you do it in the right way. Rockstar took what games like World of Warcraft and Fortnite did and found the sweet spot between creating something fun and how using today's technology to be profitable. The success of this means they haven't had to release a new game for over 10 years. On the other side of the coin, games like Call of Duty release every year. Why? Well, it's because they can't keep their fanbase entertained long enough not to do that. Games from AAA studios now are usually more about putting a game out as fast as possible just to sell you a battle pass. But battle passes don't come with content that keep you engaged for a long time. The actual game should do that. Look at Modern Warfare 3. That whole game was quite frankly a regurgitation of previous releases in every way.
Why would someone play this? Why would someone play this game?
The multiplayer was all remakes of previous maps, the single player didn't hit the mark, and the whole thing was basically just an insanely lazy release. So why didn't they put as much effort into the multiplayer as they did into Warzone? Well, what they really want for you to do is to download Warzone for free, buy the battle pass and make it an absolute grind to level up weapons without the multiplayer. This is what has made them so much money in the past, so why would they put a whole lot of time and resources into the main game when traditional story mode doesn't make them nearly as much money as, say, a battle pass, cosmetics and other microtransactions? In contrast to that, indie developers are passionate about the games they make. They want you to enjoy it, but they also want to make a game that's fun because it'll be fun to make. Look at what's going on with Palworld. Consumers of video games want to consume a good product. A good product was provided and people bought it. Strange concept. If you stop thinking about what aspects of other games Palworld copies and really immerse yourself into the game, it just becomes its own thing. The developers have indeed borrowed ideas from lots of places in order to create something that's really fun. Pokemon really missed out on an opportunity to let players smash Pikachu in the face with a rocket launcher. Anyway, when it comes to listening to community feedback, the developers view criticism as a way to see what works and what doesn't, therefore improving their game.
Game dev, when approached with passion, is an emotionally fueled endeavor. We put a bit of ourselves into these games we make, so it can be hard to accept criticism or constructive feedback even. But if we want to get that useful feedback that can help us to improve our games, then we have to be open to it. All of it, not just the stuff that strokes our ego.
AAA titles tend to disregard the fan criticisms as us being ungrateful, complaining morons, which generally isn't the case. We just call things how we see them. Both sides have the means to add stuff here, remove stuff there, patch stuff, and provide bug fixes quickly, but one will heed the advice and one will not. Take the Battlefield 5 don't like it, don't buy it. They literally cut off their nose to spite their face. And that sort of philosophy for their upcoming game hit them directly in the wallet. Battlefield 5 should have been a roaring success after the success of Battlefield 1, but again, the game was shrouded in controversy, there wasn't a whole lot of content, and they locked the Battle Pass behind a paywall at a time when Battle Royale was all the rage. In essence, AAA studios today are creating games that give them quick wins and easy profit. Get the game out the door whether it's finished or not, hype it up to the max, and get people paying for it. We'll fix problems later.
Had a lot of difficulties at launch, and we got a lot of well-deserved criticism.
Indie studios, on the other hand, have the luxury of time while emphasizing on community feedback. They don't have investors chasing them for a release date and estimated profits, so they've got time to listen to their community and work on the game. AAA studios don't want to innovate too much because new ideas haven't been proven to work. That's for the indie studios to discover, and then they'll copy that idea and make billions out of it. See what happened with PUBG. As a consumer, I'm getting pretty tired of the same old formula. Uninspiring AAA game releases for free, game requires purchasing a battle pass, game gets stale after a while, then an indie title pops up that's incredible and takes the world by storm. Big studios copy the idea and milk it to absolute death, and the cycle repeats. The golden age for indie games has certainly begun.